Alright, and we're back in the Undead Settlement. So as you can see, I did not level up from the last episode, just so that we can stay consistent. I'm only going to level up at the end of the level, so if you did the boss first, skip to the end of this video and see how we end up leveling. Or see how we, like, sort of level, and then you can replicate some of it, and then once we get through this last area, you can kind of finish that out. So you're going to see why we got the grave key now. You're going to see some new NPCs, some cool things that you can do. And that's pretty much the best thing about this episode, is that you're going to see a lot of new things that you don't really get to see until this point in the game. There's a lot of NPCs, trust me. A lot of things that you're going to find. So I already killed the enemies that are normally in here. Something I'm going to talk about, this is the build that I'm doing. You, as a first-time player, I recommend, over-leveling yourself like crazy, using whatever magic stuff, crazy stuff you want, because I think the first thing for this game should just be, you see a cool weapon, you're like, damn, that's sick, and then you want to use that weapon and you use it, which is what I did for my first playthrough, and that's really what made me fall in love with the series. Like, I started randomly using magic halfway through, and my damage sucked because I didn't build my character's stats to, be made for a magic build, but it was super fun. So yeah, just do whatever you want. Don't feel pressured to follow my build. I'm just doing it because it's pretty much one of the best builds in the game, in my opinion. And I think it's very good for new players to use greatswords. They're very balanced, and this weapon just does a lot of damage, does extra damage against certain bosses. Which is sorry, I'm getting a text. It's my bad. I got a text from my boy Alex about Attack on Titan. Alright, so, yeah, so we're going to cross that bridge that I mentioned in the last episode, that I said we weren't going to go yet. And you'd think that you should go in here first, but you actually have the option to go around this way to the right. I actually am going to go in this way first. Normally this guy crosses the bridge, so I don't know why he didn't this time, but I'm actually going to go this way first, and then I'll come around back later. So we're seeing we're one-shotting enemies with this Hollow Slayer Greatsword, because they're hollow, so it's much easier to kill them. And here you walk in, the thrall falls down from the roof, and give him a quick beating. You see, unlike in the last episode where it took 3 shots to kill great sword wielding thrall, it actually only takes 2 this time because of, the better weapon with better AR, or attack rating, that is. We open the door. You're actually invincible while you're opening doors, unlike in Dark Souls 2, which is another reason that Dark Souls 2 is a garbage game. So just whack that thrall, and turn around and come back through the door and run through the area that you just went through. So I recommend definitely healing up for this next area, because with our upgraded Estus Flask, a lot of people, when I watch videos, having trouble with this area because it is filled with these thralls. Some of them are shooting at you, some of them are just falling down. You actually one-shot the ones that don't have the great swords. Yeah, this whole area, there's a guy on the left here waiting to ambush us. I'm gonna kill him. There's another one hanging on the side of the cliff that's gonna come try to kill us. One-shot him. Run here, turn around for a bit so you don't get hit. Grab that soul. Come around here up this. Thrall. And you can come here to grab Plank Shield, which is terrible. And then talk to this guy. So he says something about a guy carrying a cage. And the reason for that is that that's actually the Easter egg that I was talking about earlier. That can get you to the NPC that I talked about in the last episode. I said don't kill the boss if you want to get to the NPC. Well, that's what he hints at, because you climb into the cage on a guy's back, and it takes you to the NPC. So if you don't kill the boss ahead of time, which obviously I did, you drop down here, and that guy over there is not hostile. This guy. He is not hostile. If you haven't fought the boss, but since I have, he is hostile. Something about this sword, the one thing that's worse than the claymore, oh my god, is that it does not do as much poise damage. So you saw with the Claymore, we staggered that guy in 2 hits, but 2 hits against that guy with this weapon did not do as much. So I'm gonna hit this down. We'll get to that later. And you're pretty much, I don't want to say stuck here, but that's pretty much the word. But you can crawl down and come back around and continue with your day. So there's actually a hidden bonfire coming up that we're going to go to, and some more Titanite shards as well, plus an NPC that we're going to talk to that'll give us pyromancy, so we can start finally doing magic. And once you're here, I'll actually turn around so you can get the Caduceus round shield if you want. It's not that great. I mean, we already have the small leather shield, which is what we want. But you come across this bridge. These guys up there will start shooting fire bombs. They will throw the fire bombs and they will blow up those barrels. Those are fire barrels. And that does tons of damage to you if you get hit by it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to walk to this part of the bridge and we're just going to roll straight off. There will be 2 enemies. Drop rubbish. That's not a guaranteed drop. Now we're up to 4, I think. Come around. And go to the bottom. You can rest. Not to do anything, just rest. Come around here. And you can go over this, and you can drop down there. And you can just kind of like, so like if you drop down there and you fall all the way down, you miss this area over here. So you could drop down there, and that leads you to an area right under here that has an item, but we're not going to go there yet. So we're going to go here and kill those guys who are chucking firebombs over there. I did a running attack because they'll sometimes throw firebombs at you and interrupt your attacks. The hand axe, then talk to this guy in the cage.
Well, but him.
It's Cornix or Corinx. I think it's Cornix. You talk to him, ask him to learn
Marie
pyromancy.
to the pleasure.
Yeah, Cornix of the Great Swamp. He heads off to Firelink. So that's nice. You can finally do pyromancies if you want. You can throw fireballs at people. It's cool. And because they placed the pyromancy thing here, they also put a kind of your first pyromancy item here as well. So pick this up, Soul of Unknown Traveler. Run down here. Kill this enemy, scream, and then grab the Fire Clutch Ring. So basically what that does is it increases the damage that you deal fire attacks by like a significant amount. But it also increases the amount of damage you take from fire damage, I think. Or maybe it's all damage. Actually, I think it might be all damage. It increases all damage by a lot. So now we're going to come around the place that I told you about before, and you hear that there's a thrall somewhere hiding. Comes crawling up through the rocks and tries to kill you, but you just one-shot him because you're awesome. And then you grab this large soul of a deserted corpse, come back around, and you see that right there is the door that we opened right before the boss fight. So come around here and you look down. You'll see, at least you should see, I don't know why they're not here. It's actually exceedingly weird. There's supposed to be a patrol here. Mob of enemies patrolling, but for some reason, they aren't here. I've never had that happen before. Did they all fall through? Yeah, they're all down there. Yeah, so a bunch of enemies fell down there, so that's going to make going down there a pain. But yeah, normally those will start patrolling along this way, and one of the dogs will usually get stuck on the bridge right here. Look at this ember, and then one of them will go into here, which is going to be the next place that we are heading. Just the sewers. And you're going to see why we got that. The dog actually did go in there. So you're going to see why we got the grave key. Down in here. Rats. These rats are really annoying. They can actually stun lock you if you don't kill them fast enough, so just kill them. They have a couple of different attacks. They have that one, which is the one that stun locks you. the cestus, which is really nice. So this is the first example of a fast parry. So we have our, just for demonstration, our long parry, our medium parry, and our short parry. So that one has the least parry frames. It's also the fastest, so it's the most reactive. So a lot of people prefer that, especially in PvP. I think this is the best one because it's harder for people to kind of predict that you're going to do it. You can kind of just pull it out real quick and do it. So I'm going to put this back on. And so you see this big dust cloud. There's actually a giant rat in there. Good thing about the rats is they take tons of poise damage. So like usually one hit's enough to stagger. Make sure you use your weapon. Run up to the rat. You see it in there. Did what I was doing. Yeah, you know, when you're using this weapon, or even the claymore, I think it works the same way. I should kill him in just 2 hits. Always guaranteed to drop the blood bite rank. And now you've come full circle to the dilapidated bridge bonfire that you went to the boss from. So that's not really what we're doing right now. We're going to go back down here. And now we're going to turn right. Open this up using the grave key. Come down. And we're going to grab the loincloth item, which is the starter item for the soul level 1 class. So here is the statue of Velka. So requesting absolution, what that does is if you've accidentally aggroed an NPC that you want to be friendly, you come here and you pay a bunch of souls, and that NPC is no longer angry at you anymore. And dissolution is if you're like me and you have gone hollow, then you can use even more souls to request dissolution, and that will, I think, remove your hollowing. So here, if you have a strike weapon, which I do not, except for the cestus, which is actually a fist weapon, so you can actually attack with it. So if you have one, you're going to want to pull it out. Like maybe if you decide to buy the mace, you're going to pull it out because there are going to be a bunch of skeletons down here. And skeletons are incredibly weak to strike damage, and actually very strong against every other type of damage. So you can actually attack them while they're getting out. So pretty easy. But strike damage weapons are crazy. Like, not only do they like do extra damage, but they also cause them to like deconstruct the skeleton thing break apart. Every single time you hit them. Like, there's a chance for every weapon to do that, but strike weapons do it extra. I got lucky, Q Combined resin drop from him, but this weapon actually cannot be buffed. So you cannot put dark damage or fire damage or anything else on this weapon. So now we've got an unfortunate combination of a bunch of enemies. Kill as many of those as we can in one go. That's another reason that spinning running attack is just so good. Hits everything in a 360-degree radius. So, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, 360 degrees. So that's really nice about this weapon. And we see an evangelist there. We're going to try not to aggro that. We're going to run up to this crystal lizard. And we're going to do our jumping strong attack like I said last time. We're going to miss, which is awesome. And just before it teleported, nice, we were able to get it. So that gives us a heavy gem. And that's the infusion that helps pure strength build. So it gets rid of dexterity scaling, that is. And it gives you just a buttload of strength scaling, so that's really nice. So basically we're going to pick up, right here is just some random item that no one cares about, and then here is a Titanite shard, but when we pick that up, I think it's that, it might be the other way around, but when we pick this one up, this guy is going to fall on us and try to kill us, so you're going to want to pick that up and roll away real quick. Grab this Titanite shard, this Titanite shard, and roll away. So, that guy's dead, you can pretty easily kill him, and now we actually have 6 Titanite shards, which I believe is enough to get our weapon to +3. So this evangelist is going to be pretty annoying to fight, so we're just going to run past him, because we're not dealing with that right now. don't know if I left the area, but if I left the area after attacking that item, then... oh. So the reason... Or not that, yes. But yeah, I think the item that we dropped from the big thing is supposed to fall down here, but I actually never know. I've never done it before. And that's like a pretty useful item or something. I don't know, but you can look somewhere else up for what that is. So here, this is always pretty hard, but I usually pull out a throwing knife if you didn't waste your arrows in the last episode like I did, or maybe this episode. Use throwing knives, try to free aim it, knock that down, and get a blessed red and white shield. So something about the blessed shield is not only is it +1, which is nice, it also has the parry skill, so it's a medium parry, and because it's blessed, it slowly regenerates your health whenever it is equipped. Something you can do is you see my HP is at 835 out of 887. If you equip it, wait for a second, you'll see that your health will eventually, oh wait, you have to equip it, it's my bad. Your health will actually start to go up, 838 now. So something cool about that is if you check your HP in here, and you just unequip and unequip, they must have patched this, never mind. So you used to be able to just unequip it and re-equip it, and you'd be able to heal all your health all up real quick. So disregard that for now. That's kind of a useless point now. So what we're going to do here, what happens in this area, you see only one rat, but there's actually a little gutter here that a bunch of rats are spilling out of, and they'll kill you real fast. It spams a bunch of rats at you. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to jump off this thing, roll off of it is preferable, run for that item, and sprint and get on this ladder and climb up as fast as possible. You can fast climb up ladders by holding the sprint button while you're climbing. So here, grab it, Saint's Talisman that will allow us to cast miracles, and we're gone. Obviously, rats can't climb ladders. So now we've finished the gutter part, and we're just going to talk to Arena of Kareem. You pick the first option. Touch with your jerky hands. And she gives you an email. And you talk to her again, and you accept her service, and she heads out to the Fire Link, and she will sell you miracles. So now you have Pyromancy seller, Miracle seller, and you just have yet to get a spell seller other than Yul Lander, who gave a few basic spells. Talk to Morin, he doesn't really do anything. I don't know if this is Igon, but same armor as Morin. And there's some items over here. It's I think alluring schools, but it's just not worth fighting all the enemies over there. So, now we're going to go to the last part of the Undead Settlement, which is opening up this door. This is like a cathedral thing. So, up is going to come up the best character in the whole game. And this is Sigurd of Katarina, the Onion Knight. So he'll talk to you and he'll be like, yeah, there's, you know, some stuff. There's a huge shooting arrows. This lift only goes down, etc., etc. But actually, the lift does not only go down. It's actually 2 lifts, as you saw when you started coming up. So you just walk across it, roll, and that'll go down. Going down is actually how you get to the next area. Sorry, I just texted about Attack on Titan again. So now you're able to go back up. Yeah, that'll get you to the next area, but there's some stuff we want to do here first. Tons of stuff, actually. A surprising amount of stuff that we want to get here. So first you're going to want to go all the way up to the top. Go straight off. Grab this soul of a nameless soldier, which I think is like 2,000 souls worth. So that's a really nice thing to have. You come up here, and you see this giant. It's like, oh wow, that's giant. That's scary. You see its big bow. But no, it's actually nice. You just hit make peace, and now he will stop shooting the arrows at you down over here, which is where you were before you went to the boss around here. You walked up here and you're getting an arrow shot at you. No, that's where you got that charge. So you won't get them shot at you anymore, and in all the other areas of the game where he can shoot arrows, he will not do that either. which is fortunate because I think down there is supposed to be the Cathedral of the Deep, or maybe it's not. Oh no, right here is supposed to be the Cathedral of the Deep. And that's an area that you'll get to later, and you start shooting arrows at that too, and it's really annoying. So yeah, well, now that you got the young white branch from him, do not use that young white branch, because if you use it, you no longer have the peace offering. And then now you're going to get on this elevator, but you're actually going to find a secret where you jump halfway off, and you need to be facing this way to do it. So you get on. You see there's a platform there. You hear him say, and that's your cue to roll off. And here is Sigurd. He figured out the riddle of the lift.
I know.
And then you see over there, there's a
think twice.
Fire demon. One of the last demons of its kind, unlike in Dark Souls where there's a bajillion demons. And once that demon aggro's onto you, Sigurd will come down and help you. And Sigurd has a bajillion health, and is a pretty reliable NPC helper. Sigurd's questline is actually one that you want to do. So this demon has a fire spin attack, which does actually really a lot of damage. But this weapon is much more than capable of dealing with this. Something good about Sigurd is his weapon is very dull. Somehow I just got counter damage on it. Did like 600 hit. So you kill him, you get the fire gem. Chubby little dude sits down, gives you Sieg Bro, which is nice.
Long may the sun shine.
He toasts you. Gets you the toasty. And then grab the homeward bone there. Talk to him one more time. He falls asleep. You hear him snoring, and you get the sleep bone, which is really good for when people are being annoying in PvP, as a lot of people have said before. Come around here. I don't think there's anything back here. There's literally no point in this area. Maybe it's just so you can lead the demon around and grab the great club or large club, which I've never used before. Come around here, get this down. I believe this is the Pale Tongue, which you use later in the Cathedral of the Deep, like I mentioned. And then knock this down, and you get the northern set, which is the armor set of the warrior class. If you decide to choose the warrior class off the bat, that's the armor set that you'll get. So now you see a bunch of these leg dudes. So you see a bunch of these leg dudes. They look like they might be about to fall on you. Like, this totally looks like a trap, but it's actually not. You pick up the red bug pellets, which give you fire defense, and you go about your day. So now here, after them saying, oh, you know, like, that one's not a trap, you should have no reason to think it's a trap, they set up a trap, as you can tell, because you can lock onto these. So come around to the left, around them, then equip the alluring skulls. Straight away, chuck one like that. Chuck another. From here. Away and chuck another alert. So run around to the left. Yeah, they swing at you. Just go on these stairs. And you're basically in the clear. Now you have no more alert skulls. Grab the Flynn's ring, which is not useful to us right now. But what the Flynn's ring does is, like, if you equip it, it says lowering equip load increases attack. So you see, my weapon attack power doesn't increase. It's still 222. But if I decrease my equip load, my attack power moved to 238. So if you're doing a light rolling character, that might be useful for you. You know, it's whatever you think works. I'm just gonna put on take off blue tier stone and that, and I'm just gonna put on this because why not? We got it, so might as well use it. And I'm gonna put on the flamestone plate ring just to take a little bit less damage from fire. So now you come down here, you take that very strongly. Here, and you need to hug this wall and roll straight off. And then you're good. You can just walk right off this one. But if you miss that, you will die. Grab the Chloranthy ring, which increases your stamina regen. So take that, and then replace that with the Pontiff's left eye. And then here you get the Mira set. So as I said, this sword is Lucatila Mira's sword. And that set that we just picked up is the set of clothes that Lucatila Mira wears. So now we can just come down here. There'll be a lone dog. Just to attack on him. Damage, there we go. Grab the ember. And this episode is almost over. So the next area, we're just gonna have to get through by going past these guys. You wanna roll when they just pop at you. Just head on right through. Something I did once was get them to attack this guy by kind of staying behind him and having him attack him. Which is something you can do if you want to kill that guy, because he drops a really nice great hammer if you do. This will take you up, so you want to hop off that, because now you're trying to go down, not up to the giant. Because we have completely finished the Undead settlement, except for one last enemy. I'm actually going to heal up for that enemy, because it's not an easy one to kill. I'm going to put on the Northern Gloves because it has more defense than the Masters, and it keeps me under 70%, barely. So I'm going to go along this way, and in here you'll see this is your first Boreal Outrider Knight. Boreal enemies always do like some sort of frostbite damage, like Vort that you fought earlier in the high wall. This is actually much harder to fight than that whole boss is, that boss door is. This one's much faster. So right when you pick this up, it comes for you. So you're going to want to wait for him to attack, roll around it, run and open this door. Because that enemy cannot walk through this door. Its AI does not block it. So down here, get the bonfire, and now you're in the road of sacrifices. You want to rest or refill your Estus flasks. Something weird about the enemy is that resting at the bonfire actually doesn't reset it correctly a lot of the time. So let it get back to just there, and then start heating it up. This is obviously not necessary, but definitely a nice thing to take out. It does the same frost attack that Vort does. Take them out if you can. Something that's good to note is jumping behind enemies is pretty much always a good idea. Enemies in this game are not programmed very well to hit things that are behind them, or at least most of them aren't. There's a boss that we'll fight later that definitely you don't want to get behind. These enemies, these guys are called Corvians. They have a rare chance to drop that item, which just dropped, which is crazy. But they are so hard to kill sometimes because they jump on you and spam attacks. Like, you know, if you've ever played Bloodborne, the crows in that game, it's like them, but a billion times worse. But now that we've finished, that, is time to go back to Firelink. And obviously you saw we got the Irithel Straight Sword, which does some frostbite damage and is more good for dexterity builds than Vort's Great Hammer is just for strength builds. So we're gonna go here.
Welcome.
And do our level ups. So we're gonna get one vigor, even out our strength, and then pop the rest into dexterity. Because you see, if we do strength and dexterity evenly, we actually get one less damage because this weapon scales better with dex. So we're gonna level up dexterity first, and of course vigor, so we can get some good health. And you see we're not upgrading endurance or vitality yet because it's not really that important at this point. you're going to want to buy 2 of these. That's because they're really useful to have. She doesn't have anything new. If you're out of embers, buy from her.
Ashen 1.
And come over here.
That is what neat.
And I recommend reinforcing your claymore. Just
But
because it's
be
nice to
careful.
have that higher level claymore now that you have the option.
You, well, I might as well. Thank you.
I thought I already sent you to pillage. Or sent you to pillage, so that might be why it didn't work. I tried to send you to pillage earlier anyway. So yeah, here's the mace that does strike damage. Very, very good weapon.
Goodbye.
Probably one of the best in the game. And the last thing to do is talk to Cornix, which is, or well, second to last, I guess. Talk to Cornix, Pyromancer. He gives you a free Pyromancy Flame.
Do not be gone.
I honestly don't know if I have the intelligence level to use, intelligence or faith to use pyromancies, but he sells you Fireball, Fire Surge, Great Combustion, and Flash Sweat. So I'm actually going to buy Fireball.
Do not be gone for
I'm going to use this Soul of a Nameless Soldier. And I'll talk to Irina as well. Learn Miracles, none of these are really useful. Saint's Ring could be useful if you really feel like using multiple spells, which I don't think you need. So you can actually put the Pyromancy Flame on your second slot, even if you're really close to 70%, because it has no weight. So now we have the Pyromancy Flame, and its special ability is actually really good. Small version of Great Combustion. Now we're going to come over to Yoria of Londor, purchase the Londor Braille Divine Tome. Sometimes you'll see me randomly do running attacks because I accidentally clicked off to my other monitor. So you got the Londor Braille Divine Tome, and there are different tomes that you get for certain NPCs. Like you'll get Braille tomes for Arena because she's blind. I think she's blind anyway. She's supposed to be.
Of course, the little.
And you give her that, and oh shoot. You go to Learn Miracles, and you can buy some certain miracles that are really good, but you need high faith to use them. So, I mean, I recommend, if you want, you know, maybe going for those a little bit later, but Dark Blade is a really, really great miracle. It doesn't work with this weapon, of course, because this weapon can't be buffed, but you can do it on your Claymore, and some other weapons like that. So, these are pretty good. Valve Silence is actually really overpowered against one certain boss that uses magic a lot, because Valve Silence stops people from using magic, but I don't think that really is important for us right now, so go to Learn Pyromancies. Fire Surge is a great pyromancy to have, even though I prefer Fireball just because it's ranged better. And last thing we're going to do is just attune that spell. So go to Attune Spell, click the Attune slot, or select it, and then select the spell that you want to use. Ours is Fireball. So now you can just use your, I guess it would be L1 on a console, and your right click on PC to use the Fireball. And it'll do an okay amount of damage. Certain enemies and bosses are pretty weak to that, so if you have an enemy or boss at a really low health and you just kind of want to whack them, you can do that real quick. You see Hawkwood is actually not here, so because he's not here, I might as well show why he's not here. I'm pretty sure he is out here. For some reason, Firelink has this weird fog that like makes you wait before you can leave. I think it has something to do with loading the next part of the area, but it's really stupid. Like, I think it's a terrible idea to put that even in the game at all. It doesn't make any sense, and it takes a horrifically long time for you to be able to go out. But go around here. Around here. Down to where the guy is. And you see Hawkwood is chilling at this grave. So if you played Dark Souls 1, you know why. Because it looks eerily like Artorias' grave. He's got the bastard sword on his back. It looks eerily like Artorias' grave from Dark Souls 1. That's because he is he's called, I think Hawkwood the, like, deserter or something like that, because he deserted the Legion of Farron, which is the Abyss Watchers, who are, like, kind of like the disciples of Artorias. You actually get to fight them. One of the best boss fights in this game. He's actually one of them, so that's why he chills out at this grave. It has the Farron Greatsword, which is a really cool weapon that you can get. And later on you'll be able to get a heavy gem from him, which we already have one of, but, you know, if you decided to take the strength route, you can get another heavy gem from him. So that'll conclude this episode. I've got somewhere to go, so I'll see you in the next episode. We're going to cover Road of Sacrifices, which is also a pretty terrible area. Unfortunately, in this game, some of the areas before the mid-game are pretty bad. Which is really the only criticism I have, like significant criticism I have of this game, other than like no small corridors. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So see you in the next episode for the Road of Sacrifices, and depending on how long that takes, I might actually fight another boss. Then I might actually do 2 areas in one episode, or at least part of 2 areas in one episode, because the Road of Sacrifices is relatively sparse. So that's it. See ya.